AITA for telling my child's daycare teacher that my child won't finish cleaning up? My 2-year-old daughter has been in a home daycare for a few months now. The teacher, Sasha, is very nice. I am normally all for my daughter cleaning her own messes. However, I find when I arrive, Sasha expects my daughter to finish cleaning up whatever she was playing with. Which again would be fine. But it delays us getting out the door and heading home. Sometimes we have plans, etc. I started texting Sasha when I was so many minutes away, asking her to get my daughter ready, and that seemed to work. My daughter would be in her jacket and reading a book. Easy to put away versus a huge Duplo project or similar. Until today, things were crazy and I was in a rush. We had a lot to do this afternoon and I was running behind because I had car trouble. When I arrived, my daughter and some friends were in the middle of cleaning up a big mess. I told my daughter that we had to go and to get her coat. Sasha said she needed to finish cleaning up her part. I said any other day. Sure, but I am running late and we cannot miss this appointment. Sasha tried arguing that the kids need to learn responsibility and I flat out said no. I grabbed my daughter, put her coat on and left. As I said, hectic afternoons. I only just now had time to check my texts. I had one from Sasha saying poor planning on my part doesn't mean I can break rules. I pointed out this is not in the contract and I can bring my child home whenever I need want. She accused me of undermining her authority. I was given a verbal warning, which I found ridiculous. AITA? Info. Do you collect your daughter at wildly different times every day or around the same time? If it's the same time, she should make sure any big, messy projects are cleared up in good time and have quiet reading time or similar at the end of the day. If it's wildly different, then you need to make sure you are keeping her informed. Woo NTA. I have about 7 years of home daycare experience. Messy play is for mornings or early afternoon. After 4:30, or 5, depending on when your pickups start, is for quiet reading or screen time. Things you can drop and go. Parents do not want to wait around for toys to be cleaned up. As a provider, I don't want to work late either. This is poor time management by the daycare provider. Info. Depends on how regularly this occurs. The way you worded things makes me suspect this isn't the first time you've just grabbed your kid and gone. Info. Do you pick the kid up at the same time every day? ETA. 1. The answer is no. Op picks the kid up at different times every day. 2. This is relevant information because so many people seemed surprised that the kid hadn't cleaned up already. But that would be impossible as the caregiver had no idea when Op would arrive. Taking advantage of flexible pickup times means following the rules for flexible pickup times, which clearly includes kids cleaning up before they go. Op wanted to ignore the rules because they didn't take 10 seconds to text they were on the way. That's an aw move. NTA. I work childcare and if you have a set time for pickup then there's no reason cleanup can't be started before then. Then give the kid an activity that takes a few seconds to put away when you get there. It's common practice in most care centers for easy pickups for both kids and parents as it's harder to get the kid to put things away when the parents are there. NTA. I completely agree with the day-home teacher's sentiment. But it is your kid and you can leave whenever you damn well want. Just need to be kind and respectful about it. Daycare pickup should not take 20 minutes. Working parents need to get home, run errands, make dinner, do extracurriculars, and then have quality time left with their children. That 20 minutes waiting around at daycare really cuts into a person's tight schedule. Perhaps the teacher should not allow messy or busy activities after 4:30 p.m. and instead encourage reading, larger, simpler toys, or things that are easy to put away in a hurry. It doesn't matter whether you're tall or not. What matters is whether or not you're willing to find a new care provider for your daughter. Her caregiver is telling you that your behavior was unacceptable to her, and if it continues, she will demand that you find somewhere else for your child. NTA, but would it be possible on days like this to let the teacher know, daughter needs to leave by X time because of an appointment, so that she knows in advance that you will be picking her up and leaving by that time? Not just texting ahead, but making it known that you will be out the door by a certain time, regardless of mess. NTA. The daycare should switch to quick cleanup activities for her around pickup time. Unless you arrive at wildly different times every day, it should be pretty easy. The teacher should be more proactive. It's not fair for parents to wait while a kid cleans up a mess they made under someone else's care. At 2 years old, maybe when they are older, but for a 2 years old it is the caregiver's choice what they do really. I'm all for teaching cleanup and not letting parents undermine to a point, but they have to work with you. So wait, you came and picked her up early, while they were cleaning up and you were running late. The teacher had ample time to get them to clean up. They still had an hour since you were expected to arrive. AITA. YTA, you were an hour earlier than usual. Didn't communicate the change in your schedule, and then expected the daycare to rush for your lack of preparation. Your appointment isn't an emergency and you dropped the ball when you didn't let her know in advance. Just apologize and do better next time. NTA. Assuming you're not picking up early or at random times without any warning. It's completely reasonable for cleanup to happen before pickup time. I've never heard of this at any daycare. Again, assuming pickup time is consistent and or known in advance. Sorry op. Sounds super frustrating. I hope your car troubles are resolved. I think it's totally reasonable to kindly and respectfully request that your daughter be encouraged to participate in cleanup prior to pickup. YTA. You're undermining the classroom and the teacher's ability to keep things organized and consistent. Students have to learn their routine and their responsibilities. You blowing that off not only makes it unfair to the rest of the kids and the teacher who are forced to clean up after your child, but you're also teaching your child that at least at school she doesn't have to clean up after herself, or at the very least, when mommy comes she doesn't have to follow the rules. The world doesn't revolve around you and your child. TGE teacher is already working with you by having her ready to go when you arrive because you let her know ahead of time. You forgot to phone ahead. That was your fault, not hers. Us teachers literally dread parents like you. YTA. You owe that teacher an apology. She was working with you for days to have your daughter ready for you. Now you have a bad day and you don't text her per the agreement. As that to you sounded short with her when she had been doing you the favor. You got a verbal warning. Hope that's all. Will she respect your texts going forward? Will she have your daughter get ready early every day because you might forget to text? Or will they kick you out for your attitude? Got another day car you like? MYTA. Sorry, but you're familiar with the policy. You're familiar with the rules. Obviously life happens. But that doesn't just mean you get to skip out on the rules when they don't feel important to you. In that moment, it's your job to make sure you deal with the domino effect that something like car trouble can have. Call ahead to your next appointment to reschedule, or to daycare pickup and explain that you are running behind and need some help. Maybe then you could have gotten some leniency on being late for your appointment, or Sasha could have gotten your child accelerated on the cleanup a little bit, first in line for pickup. But just springing it on them in the moment and expecting to get to do whatever you want doesn't seem fair to everyone else. Would suggest finding a new daycare because it doesn't sound like you're a good fit with this one. Esh. I got home an hour and a half later than I should have today because of parents like you. Ultimately, you have the right to take your kid whenever you want. They have the right to kick you out if they don't like your behavior. It sounds like you are not communicating well with your child's caregivers. We are not robots. We have lives, families, and appointments just like you do. We do not exist to tend to your child exactly when you need us to and then we poof off out of existence when our services are no longer required. You did undermine her authority. You need to stay in touch with your child's caregiver and keep them up to date. A text saying, "Hey, we have an appointment at 4 and need to be out the door super fast at pickup," takes 10 seconds to send. Yeah, you are the reason many teachers are quitting. Sounds like your whole world is all about you. You said you had a very hectic day. How do you know the daycare teacher didn't and you made it worse? You sound like a very entitled person. This sounds like a daycare where pickup is varied, as my family's experience has been as well. Caretakers have their daily schedules, because kids need that structure. If you're not picking up every day at the same time, you kind of have to expect them to be in the middle of something. Whether it's playtime, snack time, etc. I understand why Sasha was upset. There was no heads up, and the kids were on playtime. Routines are the lifeblood of the childcare industry, and her rules about cleanup reflect that. That being said, I can understand why you're upset. It was a long day, and things sort of slipped through the cracks. I still think some sort of warning would have helped, even if you were down the street. Ultimately, it is your kid, and it's your right to take her before cleanup if you want. But you're also paying Sasha for doing her job, maintaining structure and care. This seems like some prior communication would have done wonders. But hindsight and all that. Ultimately, I think you either need to find another daycare that fits your needs better, or make the time and effort for your kid to be able to follow the rules Sasha has set out. Call it a learning experience, and proceed with your decisions. Very soft YTA. Info. Is there a pickup time? If there is, it would be on the teacher to make sure your daughter is ready at the specific time. But of course, emergencies happen. NTA. She's looking after your child, but she doesn't have authority over you. She's on a power trip.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.